Hi, happy Easter. Thank you for joining us. Another run out video. We're going to analyze shot by shot. I believe there's a lot of guys who are either great shot makers or great position players, but it's rare to find someone who's both. And if that person who is both also has a great break, as he's going to be hard to beat. This is one of the things that slowed Efren down a little bit. He was a great shot maker. Everybody knows that. He can kick his way out of anything. And he was a superb position player. But he had kind of a weak break, and I think a lot of times, although I'm not taking anything away from him, a lot of times he got in trouble because of his weak break. But anyway, that issue comes up in this video. And we start with a combination on the 1-8, and it's a relatively easy combination. You just have to make sure you get the cue ball out far enough in case the 1 ball gets a little bit away from you. The 1 ball looks like it's gone. Well, it really just depends on how well I hit it, but it doesn't get away from us. We played fine to get out for first shot on the 1. And then from the 1 to the 2 looks easy enough. 3 is just to roll back a little bit to get back on this 4, trying to get center table on the 4 to get the right position to get back on the 5. From there, the 6 is easy enough. 7 is down here. The 8 will already be gone, so it's a matter of getting from the 7 to the 9. But the problem here is the 9 gets bumped, not once, but twice in this video. So let's just roam and see how we do this. Forgot to turn the volume down, of course. So it's just a matter of bumping this in here and just bouncing out far enough to make sure. And this is a drawback off the rail. Bottom left-hand English should get us back up on this side of the 2 ball to draw back for the 6. Or draw back for the 3. I don't know where I got the 6. And this is a matter of drawing pretty much back. Yeah, see, I didn't draw back far enough. That's what happened there. And that's because, look how far out on the table I'm bent, and it's an easy shot, so I just took for granted that I could get back on this. I should have took just a little more time on that and gotten a rake out and shot it without having to do this sidearm stroke here. It's just a lazy issue that got me in trouble. Laziness will get you in trouble in this poking whitey pool game here. So now this cue ball is going right at the 9 ball. But if I hit it on the back side of the 9, we should have a perfect shot on the 4 to either draw back on top of the 5 or draw back behind the 5. Let's see what we do here. I don't seem to be worried about it. And I did hit it, but I just barely skimmed it. And it was probably a good thing because it slowed it down a little bit to get on the 4. And here's a perfect position to get on top of the 5 back here. This dead rail got me here, and I spun it back. If I was shooting this on a diamond, I would have been perfect on the 5, but I don't know about perfect. I shot that like a wuss. Let's look at it again. I don't know why I held up on this one. I got the chalk in my bridge which I often do. You can see a piece of it right there. If you watch me carefully, sometimes I just never put the chalk down. I keep it in my bridge hand, unless I'm making a closed bridge, and then I'll put it down. But if I'm making an open bridge, I'll keep the chalk in my bridge hand. I don't know where I got that. I think I've been doing it since I was a little kid. People have commented on it, but most of the time you can't see it. It just saves me the time of putting it down and then finding it before the next shot and picking it back up. And talk about lazy. It's just I always know where it's at if it's in my hand. Yeah, I let up on that, and I didn't get back on the 5. So what do you do here? I'm cutting whitey loose like a dummy, and I'm cutting this ball in the corner, which most people look at that and say, you're just crazy, because number one, it's very, very missable, and number two, I could scratch. If I'm going to put right hand English on this, to spin it back, it's going to hit the 9 ball. And then where's the cue ball going to wind up for a shot on the 6? But what do you do? I mean, you can try to play safe here and just bank the 5 ball down against this rail and take the cue ball down here and leave your opponent a tough shot. It's probably a great option. If you're in a highly competitive tournament, that's what I would recommend to you, because a lot of things can go wrong by cutting this 5 in the corner. This is what I do. And to avoid the scratch, I put just a hair of right hand English on it. Shot it very hard. And wound up hitting the 9, so the 9 goes all the way back here. So now we have to be really careful about where we leave this cue ball to get back. It's probably going to wind up a long shot. You don't want to draw this ball because it's headed right into the side if you draw it. So it'd probably be best just to leave the cue ball somewhere around where the 6 is now. And that's exactly what I do. Just a stop shot. There was an angle there, but I killed the angle by putting a little bit of English on it to create a forced stop shot. I wouldn't recommend that either. So I'm kind of freewheeling here. But it's also kind of working out for me, although I am getting a little bit lucky here. On that 5 ball shot, so much could have went wrong, and I had to shoot it very hard to make it. If you look at that shot, let's analyze this. A lot of guys would put left hand English on it to kill the angle and to keep it away from both the 9 ball and the side pocket, which is probably actually a good way to shoot it. And then just bounce off this rail, and come back for a decent shot on the 6 down here in the corner. That would have been a better way to play this, instead of going into that 9 ball. So this is definitely a mistake. It's a mental error. It's a mental error, and I admit that. And this is what we do as pool players. We make mistakes, and we try to learn from them so we don't do it again. I'm going to set that shot up next time I get to the pool hall, and set the 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 back up in the same exact places and experiment with different ways. I could have done that. I think putting left hand English on it is the best idea. So that's it. Another award-winning smash hit video. Cranking them out. Did you guys see my break video? I know it's long. It's almost a half hour long. And I know it starts out slow with me just talking about the break. So I can see where a lot of guys didn't stick with it. But I really recommend, even if you have to fast forward through all my rambling, to get to the juice of that video, and you will learn a lot about the break, and it will set you above the rest of the good players. If you do it, I mean, you got to put the work into it. And I can't help you with that. You're either motivated to put the time and effort into it or you're not. And I think most of you guys will, because I don't think you'd be here if you weren't serious players trying to advance to the next level. Watch that video. And I'm not saying I'm trying to get views. I'm saying that because I really want to see you guys succeed. I want to read about you. And when you... No, never mind. I'm not going to say that. Watch it and learn. You'll learn a lot. I promise you. Peace, everybody.